Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss this miniature painting. This is the continuation of the second chapter of Nitin Singhania. So in this lecture, we are going to see this miniature painting. So before getting into this topic, let us see some of the introduction regarding these miniature paintings. So if you see this miniature, the word which is derived from a Latin word. And this Latin word is minium. So what is the meaning of this minium? Minium means red lead paint. And this red lead paint, it is mainly used in the illuminated manuscripts, mainly during the Renaissance period. And it is generally focused with the word minimum. Simply, the word miniature means small or minimum. And if you see, there are many schools which are developed in the different parts of the India, and they have their difference mainly in the composition and the perspective of these miniature paintings. And these miniatures are normally smaller and they are very detailed images. And if you see the different types of the miniature paintings, there are, for example, we can say the early miniature. And this early miniature, it is divided into two schools. First one is Pala school and the next one is Apurvamasa school. And the next type of miniature paintings that comes in the Delhi Sultanate's period. And later on the Mughals. And if you see the period between the early miniature and this Islam miniature, there is a transition period, and we can call them as miniature during the transition. And as well as we can see some miniatures in the South India as well. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about this early miniature, mainly these two type of the schools here, and also the miniatures of this transition period, and as well as the Delhi Sultanate. So let us see in detail what is written in this Nitin Singhania. So if you see, it is one of the important image of these miniature paintings. So if you see this image, what you will understand. So these are the small type of the figures. They are painted in a small paper size. But if you see in the early period, early miniatures, we cannot see the paper. These paintings are mainly made on the leaves. Okay. So if you see, one important technique that you should remember regarding this miniature painting is there are several preconditions that are very much necessary that to be fulfilled for the making of these miniature paintings. And those important preconditions here are, the first one is the size. The size should not be larger than the 25 square inch. Because if you see what is the meaning of the miniature, that means the small. So the image should not more than 25 square inch. And the second precondition here is the subject of the painting would be painted not more than 1/6 of the actual size. So whenever if you take if there is any human of 6 feet, so you should draw that within the 1/6 size of that actual size of that human. So these are some techniques regarding this miniature paintings, and these are some images that I took directly from the Nitin Singhania book. So this is the one type of the miniature. In this, what you can observe. So in this painting, you can observe there are the number of the persons who are standing in a queue. And if you see the dress pattern is almost same for all those men, and they are wearing some turban on their heads. And if you see that on the background, there is also one elephant, so and so one rider is present. So in this way, there is a depiction of this miniature painting was done. And if you see some other important techniques of these miniature paintings, they includes, in the most of these Indian miniature paintings, the human figurine is seen with a side profile. So if you go back to this image, you can see the side image of this human's face, but not this full image. only we can see the side image. So this is the one of the important technique of this miniature painting, and they are usually having the bulging eyes and also pointed nose and a slim waist. This waist is very slim. And if you see in these Rajasthani miniatures, the skin color which is a brown in color. So why? If you see in the Rajasthan the temperature is high, we also see third desert is present. So whenever the temperature is high, in the people, in those skin, they will secrete the large amount of the melanin, correct? So because of this melanin, it will give the dark color pigment to the skin. So because of this, the people who are living in the Rajasthan, they will develop the dark colored skin, mainly because of this temperature in that geographical area. So in this Rajasthani miniature, the skin color is of brown, and if you see in the miniatures of these Mughal paintings, the skin color is usually fairer. Is it clear? And if you see the color of the divines, that is, for example, if you see Lord Krishna, he is painted with the color blue. So normally the color of the Krishna is called as Neeli Varna. That means the blue color. And if you see in the figurines of the women, they have the long hair, and the color of their eyes and as well as their hair, it is generally black in color. And as well as men wear a traditional clothes, and they will have the turban on their head. So if you see this image, it will be very clear. And here the waist is very thin, and as well as they have the bulging eyes and also pointed nose. And you can see they are wearing the turbans on their head, and they are wearing the traditional dresses. So these are some techniques that used in these miniature paintings. So let us see the first type of the paintings, that is early miniature. So when this early miniature started, this early miniature was started or dated back 8th to 12th century. So if you see, they are often painted on the books or albums or on a perishable material. These perishable material include either paper or even the palm leaves or the cloth. The most commonly seen is the palm leaf paintings, and they are developed almost as a reaction to the enormous wall painting. So before this miniature painting, we discussed the mural paintings, correct? So it is a reaction to the enormous wall paintings. So if you see these mural paintings, they are painted with the big images on a rock surface or any solid surface. Did you recall all those things we discussed in the last lecture, correct? So in this miniatures, that is early miniature, mainly developed to a reaction of these enormous wall paintings. So these miniatures are opposite to these murals, and they are small in size. And the art of these mural paintings that developed between 8th and the 12th centuries. And you can see this type of these early miniatures are mainly seen in the eastern and also in the western regions. So we can see two prominent schools in this early miniatures. They include the Pala School of Art, and next one is Apar Brahmasa School of Art. And the first one is Pala School of Art. So if you see the time period when this particular school of art that flourished during the 750 to 1150 AD. And these paintings are generally found in a part of our manuscripts, and they are generally executed on the palm leaf or a vellum paper. So generally these palm leaves are mainly used for this miniature paintings. So they are also called as Talapatra. Okay. So whenever anything which is wrote on these palm leaves that are called as Talapatras. So if you see, these are mainly the part of our manuscripts as well. And this Pala school of art mainly used by the Buddhist monks, and they practiced their religion and also the non-violence against the living beings. So there was a stipulation to only banana or the coconut tree leaves at that period of time. Okay. So if you see some of the important features of this Pala school of art, they have the cyaneous leaves and also subdued tones of the background imagery. So whenever if you are writing, if you are drawing any painting regarding this Pala school of art, what I am trying to say, please focus here. So the background will have the subdued lines here, subdued tones like this, and at the center one image will be painted. So this is the important feature of this Pala school of art. And you can see the lonely single figures, they are painted, and one rarely find group paintings. So we see normally the single lonely images, and rarely we can see the group images. So if you see this diagram, then you can understand here. So we can see subdued lines here, and the background is well decorated, and there is a one single lonely image that is present. So this is the example of the Pala school of art. And if you see, they have the simple composition, and they were patronized by some of those rulers who patronized the Buddhism. So this Pala school of art mainly practiced by the kings who followed or who promoted the Buddhism. So you can see the religious theme, that is a Buddhism, in this Pala school of art. And if you see the types of the Buddhism, we can see Mahayana Buddhism, we can see Hinayana Buddhism, and also even Vajrayana school of Buddhism. Correct? So even the proponents of these Vajrayana school of Buddhism, they also patronize this Pala school of art. And if you see, some of the painters who are famous regarding this Pala school of art are Dimman and Vittapala. So these two names are very important for prelims point of view. So please make a note and please mark in your book as well. So this is about the Pala school of art. And let us see the next schools, that is Apabrahmasa school of art. So where it is prominent, where it is flourished. So this school of art mainly origin in the states of Gujarat and even the Marwar region, Mewar region in the Rajasthan. So it can seen in the western part here, that is in the Gujarat area, and also in the Rajasthan, especially in the Mewar region. And it was one of the predominant school of paintings in the western India. And if you see the time period, it dated back 11th century to the 15th century. And if you see the theme of this painting, it is different than compared to these two Pala school of art. And if you see the common theme of this Apabrahmasa school of art, they include the paintings related to Jains or the Jainism. And later they also painted the Vaishnava school as well. And if you see, they also brought the concept of the Gita Govinda and also secular love to these paintings. So there are different themes here that include the Hinduism as well and also Jainism. And these are two types, that is early paintings and also later paintings. The early paintings of this Apabrahmasa school of art, they are mainly made on the palm leaves. And what about the later phase? In the later period, they used to painting on this paper. So in the early Jain phase, we can see they used the palm leaf, and in the later period, they were made on the paper. Even though these paintings were made as illustrations for the book, they did not develop the different style, but were mural paintings in a reduced dimension. So this is one of the important key difference between the Pala school of art and this Apabrahmasa school of art. So if you see this Apabrahmasa, it is nothing but the reducing the size of these mural paintings, and they started painting in a small size. That is about Apabrahmasa. So let us see the image here. So if you see this image, it is almost like a mural painting, correct? But the size is small. So if you see, one of the important feature of this school of art is the colors used in the paintings that had the symbolic meaning. They usually used the colors like red, yellow and others. But if you see in the later phase, they started using the bright and also the gold colors as well. So this is about this Apabrahmasa school of art. And let us see some of the important features. They include the features of the human figurines. They are depicted in the paintings. The eyes or fishy eyes like this. So if you see the Pala school of art, they have the bulging eyes, but in this school they have the fishy eyes, fishy shaped bulging eyes, and they have the pointed nose and also double chin. Double chin is the important feature here. So if this is the mouth and this is the chin here, so this is the double chin method. And they also try to began the trend to make the angular faces like this, okay, in the third and the fourth profile. As well as these figures are usually stiff and even the ornamentation is carefully done. And one important difference between this Pala and this school of art is, if you see these female figurines, they have enlarged hips and also breast. So this is the important difference between the Pala school and also the Apraਭamasa school. And in this school of art, animals and the bird figurines are also represented as toys. And one important famous example of this school of art is Kalpasutra and also Kalachakra Katha, mainly from the 15th century. So this is about this school, and let us see the transition period miniature. Why there is a transition period? Because of the entry of the Muslims into the India. So there is a mixture of this Islam architecture and the Hindu architecture that led to the synthesis of the cultural, that is a cultural synthesis of these paintings is seen. So it is called as a transition period miniature. So if you see here, one should not say that Islamic styles took over the traditional styles of the painting that survived in the Eastern and the Western Indian courts, but it led to the synthesis of a culture, that is a cultural synthesis took place. For example, you can see in the southern India, mainly in the Vijayanagara Empire, a different style was emerging, that is closer to the Deccan style of painting. We are going to discuss about the South Indian miniatures in the next lecture, don't worry about that. So if you see, in this transition period miniature, the colors were applied in a flat manner, and if you see the dress and also human outlines, they are demarcated with the black color. So this is a very, very important thing. And if you see the face, in the face we can see 3/4 angle. That means about 75% of the face is painted. And whenever we see this 3/4 angle of the paintings of the face, and that gives the detachment appearance. So this is a very, very important development in this transition period. So if you see the Pala school, we can see only one-sided face. Even in the early miniature, they include the Pala and also Apraභamasa. But if you see in this transition miniature, we got 75% of the face is painted, and that is appearing like a detachment. So there is a lot of improvement in the paintings that is seen. And if you see in the landscape, they used the full of the trees, they used the rocks and also other designs as well. Okay, so these are the changes that happened from these early miniatures to the transition period. So if you see here, if you see in this painting, you can see about 75% of the face it is painted, and it is appearing like the detachment as well. So these are some examples of this transition period miniature. So let us see the miniature art during the Delhi Sultanate period. So if you see, after the entry of the Muslims into the India, we can see the Muslim rule. First one is Delhi Sultanate and later Mughals, correct? So in this lecture, we are going to see only Delhi Sultanate's miniature art. So these paintings of these Delhi Sultanates, they try to bring together the Persian elements to their origins of these Indian traditional elements. So we can see there is a synthesis of this Persian as well as the Indian traditional elements in these miniature paintings. And they give the preference to the illustrated manuscripts, and one of the finest example of this period is Nimatnama. Okay, Nimatnama. So this Nimatnama, it is a book of cookery. Okay, it is a book which describes on the cookery, mainly during the reign of the Nasir Shah, who ruled over Mandu. So this is the important thing, you have to remember this name Nimatnama. This Nimatnama, it is a book on a cookery. So mainly during the reign of this Nasir Shah who ruled this Mandu region. And this manuscript mainly shows the synthesis of these indigenous paintings as well as the Persian styles, how they went to the synthesis of a new type of the paintings. So if you see here, this image will show the miniature art during the Delhi Sultanate period. So we can see the Persian style of the scrolls that are present here, the designs are present here. So this is the one of the Persian influence that is seen. And if you see the faces, they are about 75% are painted here. Okay, so this picture is not much clear, but you can Google it regarding this miniature art of Delhi Sultanate, then you will get a number of pictures and that will be very clear. Okay, so I took these images directly from this Nitin Singhania. So if you see in this Delhi Sultanate period, apart from this style, there is also another style that is developed. The name of that style is Lodi Kuladar, and this Lodi Kuladar who also prevalent during this period, and it was mainly followed by the Sultanate dominate areas which are present in the India like the Delhi and also the Jaunpur. So wherever these Sultanate dominated areas are present, in this area we see this Lodi Kuladar type of the miniature paintings. And later on there are many major styles of the painting that came into existence. For example, we can say Mughal paintings, Rajput paintings, Deccan paintings. In the Deccan, we can say Mysore paintings, etc. So these also have dominated this medieval landscape. And they also borrowed some of this Delhi Sultanate's precedents, but they developed their own type of these paintings individually. So this is about today's lecture. We try to understand what is the miniature painting and what are the techniques of these miniature paintings. And early miniatures, we discussed two types of the prominent schools regarding this early miniature, and also we discussed transition period and why this transition period had happened, and as well as we saw the miniatures of this Delhi Sultanate. In the next lecture, we are going to complete these miniature paintings. We are going to discuss about majorly miniature paintings of the Mughal period, and we are going to divide that into the different types of the kings like Babur, Humayun, Jahangir, Akbar, etc. So in which time period, what are the changes that came? So that part is very important for the prelims. Already in 2018, I guess, if I am not wrong, there was a question regarding these paintings in the period of Jahangir. So that part is very important. So I want to discuss detailedly regarding those topics. And we are also going to discuss the miniatures of the South India. So by this we will complete this miniature paintings. Okay. I hope you understand this lecture. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel. Please do like, share and comment videos.